Long ago, in a realm where wonder wove itself through the very fabric of nature, lived a young wood elf named Oradein. Her name echoed with the melody of forest streams, and her heart beat in time with the ancient pulse of the trees. Oradein was known for her untamed spirit and her adventurous heart. While other elves crafted their bows and arrows with unwavering precision, Oradein found solace in the company of butterflies and the whisper of leaves. She understood the language of birds and the secrets held in the spider's web. Her days were filled with the joy of discovery, her nights with dreams of faraway lands. One day, while chasing a mischievous pixie deeper into the woods than she had ever ventured before, Oradein stumbled upon a place she had never seen. The familiar towering trees were replaced by a carpet of tall grasses that swayed in the gentle breeze. The air hummed with the buzz of unseen insects, and the sunlight dripped through the leaves in golden shards. This was a meadow of whispers, a place spoken of only in hushed tones by the elders. Legend spoke of a sanctuary beyond the reach of time and space, where the veil between the ordinary and the blessed grew whisper-thin. But the peace of the meadow was short-lived. As twilight began its descent, casting long shadows among the grasses, a chill wind swept across the land. The sky, once a canvas of endless blue, was now bruised with dark clouds, and the playful breeze turned into a mournful sigh. Caught off guard, Oradein realized she didn't know her way back to the familiar elven wood. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at her heart. The legend spoke of dangers lurking in the meadow after dark, of creatures that thrived in the gloom and of illusions that could lead travelers astray forever. Panic threatened to consume her, whispering that she should run, that she should scream, that she should do anything to escape the encroaching darkness. Yet amidst the rising terror, something unexpected happened. In the depths of her despair, Oradein remembered the words of her grandmother, a renowned druid and keeper of ancient wisdom. When fear threatens to engulf you, her grandmother had said, close your eyes, breathe deep, and seek the music. It will guide you home. Oradein had often dismissed these words as mere fairy tales, but now, with the specter of night looming over her, she had no choice but to try. Taking a shaky breath, she shut her eyes tight and strained to listen. And then she heard it, faintly at first, like a whisper on the wind. There was a sound, a melody so gentle it could have been mistaken for the rustling of leaves. Yet Oradein's heart recognized it as a beacon of hope in the gathering darkness. Slowly, tentatively, she began to walk towards the sound, each step a testament to her fading courage. The music grew, weaving its magic around her, pulling her along like an unseen hand. It rose and fell, sometimes soft as a mother's lullaby, sometimes strong as a warrior's call to arms. Though she couldn't see the source, she felt its power course through her veins, urging her forward. The melody led her through the swaying grasses, over babbling brooks and around moss-covered stones. All around her, the meadow transformed, becoming something magical and alive. Fireflies winked from the grasses like fallen stars, and the trees lining the path shimmered with an otherworldly glow. Even the shadows seemed to dance to the tune, becoming less menacing and more playful. The music swelled, reaching a crescendo as she approached the end of the path. And then, just as suddenly, it stopped. Oradein stood in a small clearing, the path behind her dissolving into the gathering darkness. Before her, bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon, was a sight that took her breath away. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent oak, its branches reaching towards the heavens like the arms of a giant. But it was the tree's trunk that captivated Oradein's gaze. Etched into its bark were swirling patterns that seemed to wrist and twist like living things. And from these patterns, the music seemed to emanate, resonating with the very core of her being. As she reached out to touch the tree, a warm, tingling sensation flowed through her fingertips, spreading like wildfire through her entire body. Memories, not her own, flooded her mind. She saw generations of travelers seeking solace and guidance under this very oak, their fears and hopes mingling with the tree's ancient wisdom. The melody wasn't just music. It was a story, a testament to the countless souls the oak had guided back to their paths. With newfound clarity, Oradein realized she wasn't alone in her journey. Countless others had walked this path before her, drawn by the same fears and guided by the same music. She was part of a lineage, connected to those who had come before her, their experiences weaving together in a tapestry of resilience and hope. A gentle voice, ancient and kind, echoed in her mind. "Welcome, traveler. You have heard the call of the oak and found your way to its roots. What brings you here?" Startled, Oradein turned to find the source of the voice. But there was no one there. Had she imagined it? Was she still lost? "I am Oradein," she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "I wandered into the meadow, and with the coming of dusk, my way back became unclear. Fear threatened to consume me until I remembered my grandmother's words. So I followed the song, hoping it would lead me home." The oak rumbled softly, its voice like the rustling of leaves. "You did well, child, to seek the music when all else seemed lost. And now you have found your way here, to the Heartwood Grove, a place where the veil between the worlds is thin and the whispers of the ancient ones can be heard." Relieved and humbled, Oradein explained about the meadow, how she had become lost and how the music of the oak had guided her. The oak remained silent for a moment, and Oradein feared that perhaps she had offended the ancient tree. But then the voice spoke again, softer now, like the murmur of a stream. "Little one, you have shown courage and faith by following the song. It is these qualities that will guide you, not just in the middle of whispers, but wherever life's path may lead. Remember, the music is always there, waiting for you to hear it. It is the language of your soul, a compass pointing to the wisdom that lies within. Trust it, for it knows the way even when you are uncertain of your own steps." Touched by the oak's words, Oradein felt a surge of gratitude and understanding. The music hadn't just led her to the grove. It had taught her a valuable lesson. As the first rays of sunlight began to peek over the horizon, bathing the meadow in a soft, golden light, Oradein knew it was time to leave. The experience had been profound, but the oak's words echoed in her mind, reminding her that her true strength lay in her ability to trust the music within. Stepping out of the clearing, she looked back at the oak, its branches silhouetted against the rising sun. With a grateful nod, she turned and walked towards the now familiar song. It was fainter this time, more like a whisper on the wind, but she followed it nonetheless, knowing it would lead her back to the edge of the meadow. And indeed it did. As the mist began to lift, revealing the familiar trees of her elven home, Oradein broke into a run, her heart filled with joy. The morning was veiled in silver. Mist rolled over the quiet hills, soft as a blanket, cool as a whispered secret. Oradein stepped carefully into the meadow, her small feet sinking into the dew-kissed grass. She could barely see a few steps ahead. Everything was hidden: the path, the trees, even the rising sun. But somewhere deep inside, she felt no fear. Then, she heard it. A faint sound, distant and low, like a flute carried on the wind. It wasn't just music, it was a call, a gentle invitation. She followed. Each step was slow, deliberate. The mist curled around her like playful dancers, parting just enough to show the way, then closing behind her like a curtain. The melody grew clearer. It rose and fell, sometimes soft as a breath, sometimes bright like laughter. Oradein could not see the singer, yet the music guided her heart. At one point, she hesitated. The fog thickened. The sound seemed far away. Was she lost? But then, she remembered to be still, to breathe, to trust. And in that stillness, the song returned stronger than before. It led her to a small clearing. The mist lifted, just slightly, revealing a single tree, glistening with droplets. The branches swayed though there was no wind, and Oradein knew the tree was singing. It was not a song for the ears alone. It was a song for the soul. It told of journeys where the way seems hidden, of travelers who feel alone but are never truly so, of unseen companions, of guidance that comes quietly, and of the courage it takes to keep moving forward. Oradein stood in silence, letting the melody soak into her heart. When the last note faded, the mist began to clear. Before her lay a narrow path, now visible in the light. She smiled, grateful. The way had been there all along. She simply needed to trust enough to find it. Lessons. Sometimes in the deepest darkness, the faintest glimmer of hope is enough to guide us. We must learn to listen closely to the whispers of our soul and trust that they will lead us out of the shadows. For within each of us resides a well of inner strength, a melody waiting to be heard. And when we tune our hearts to its frequency, we discover that we are never truly lost, only learning. Like and subscribe for more beautiful stories with lessons.